But we do have a check.
We do have.
Oh,
It's
so
on
working
now.
out. Okay,
It's
so
on now.
we're reconvening at 9:54. We are on agenda item 7B. This is reading and public hearing of Resolution R-19-4408. A resolution appointing members to the Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee, establishing the committee charge, establishing a timeline for completion, and providing for the dissolution of the committee upon acceptance of a final report. Whereas on June 18, 2019, the City Council established the Colleyville Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee, and whereas the City Council is committed to the best interest of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Colleyville, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Colleyville, Texas, Section 1, that the following are hereby appointed to the Colleyville Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee: Rich Hendler, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board; Eric Presson, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board; Cliff LeBlanc, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. There's 4 more at large that we'll discuss in a minute, and they'll be included in the motion. Section 2, that Rich Hendler will serve as the chair. Section 3, that the Colleyville Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee will: A, identify and prioritize need and rationale for intra-connectivity of pedestrian transportation routes, parentheses, sidewalks and trails, between neighborhoods and communal destination, parentheses, nature center, State Highway 26 commercial corridor, library, city hall, park, senior center, schools, etc. B, identify and prioritize need and rationale for interconnectivity of pedestrian transportation routes, sidewalks within neighborhoods. C, create a single sidewalk and trail map based on a review and update of the supplemental sidewalk map and trail master plan. D, develop priority-based recommendations and rationale for determining which sidewalks or trails should be completed first. Section 4, that the Colleyville Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee will provide the Colleyville Parks and Recreation Advisory Board a final report for consideration at the board meeting to be conducted in November 2019. Section 5, that the Colleyville Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee will provide the Colleyville City Council a final report for consideration at the City Council meeting to be conducted December 3, 2019. Section 6, that upon issuance of final report to the City Council and acceptance by the City Council, the work of the committee will be completed and the Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee will be dissolved. Section 5, that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage, and it is so resolved. So we had passed a resolution before setting up the committee, so tonight we're reestablishing the committee and appointing members. We put out requests for applicants. We got a number of applicants and some good applications. And so tonight in the work session I had discussed briefly. I always go through when we make appointments and really assess and read everything carefully and kind of analyze it from my point of view and make a recommendation to you guys for consideration. And so out of the individuals that we that applied, and by the way, I did this with several criteria in mind. Number 1 criteria, always to me, no matter what committee it is the individual should have a real, true desire to assist and improve the community, period. Nothing else. Number 2, then you look at in their qualifications, their experiences, what have they done, what is the evidence that they are thinking consistently with the Colleyville Master Plan and the whole strategy and critical success factors of the city. So it's with those and other things I read all the applications in great detail. I looked at where every individual lives. I plotted that out on a map so that we wouldn't end up with a committee that's representing just one part of the city. And so again, with all of that in place, the 2 top names that popped out to me were David Duziak and Don Hethcock. Dave Duziak, I've lived here for like 26 years or so. Served on the Planning and Zoning Committee, 7 or 8 years back in the earlier 2000s. He was instrumental in the development of Kimsey Park and has put a lot of personal effort into many park activities. So he's well versed in the city and running the city and has participated and contributed to many good things in the city. Don, I have exchanged emails with, he's called me, we've chatted, and what he did, he's a civil engineer. He put together a proposal for the city well before we even established this committee that was recommending some ways to actually do intra-connectivity in the community between neighborhoods and between locations people may want to go. And I mean, down to a full-bore presentation deck and proposal, pictures, the whole shoot match. And so that was quite impressive to me because he put so much energy and effort into that. He clearly knows what he's talking about and has put a lot of thought. So we had a lot of great applicants. Those two just popped out to me for the reasons that I said. So I really do recommend those two be on the committee. As I look through others, tonight you guys mentioned some people to me. Matthew Little, Brandy Sliger, Tommy Snyder, Lynn Underwood, and Lawrence Williamson. They all have their own attributes. And so of those I just named off, I think are the appropriate set to pick two more from. And so I think any of those could do a good job. So what are y'all's thoughts?
I'd like to put forth Larry Williamson. He is a former GCISD student, has lived in the district during his youth, moved back into our city after working in LA in special needs schooling, so he has experience with kids, especially around special needs, and he currently works as an air traffic controller, so has a lot of conceptual knowledge of how to move things through spaces. And I think he also lives next door to his parents who live in my neighborhood, so it gives a different perspective from the older neighborhoods within Colleyville.
I gave my suggestion, which was Matthew Little, and the reason why Matthew came to my mind was because of his experience. He has experience in NOIs, SW3Ps, land development, ditches, tree mitigations, a lot of things that are going to come into play when laying out sidewalks and into certain divisions of the city. I think that he's a great asset, and that's, out of all these people, there's I don't think there's a bad choice, to be honest with you. But my reason for talking about Matthew Little is because of, like I say, his business experience. He's lived here in Colleyville for a long, long time. His family has as well. And so just think that he got a vested interest in the city, and he brings a wealth of knowledge to the board.
I just want to mention my neighbor also who applied, Jennifer Johnson, and she is a very active member of our community. She walks a lot, so I know she uses the trails and neighborhoods and sidewalks. So just a different, fresh perspective that could be useful on a committee. But like we've all said, we've got great applicants.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had 3 mentioned. In addition to those 2 I mentioned, we needed to get it to 2. Any?
We need 4?
Yeah,
The first two were
yeah,
solid.
We need
Yeah.
4.
right.
2 more, yeah.
So think about it for a second. I propose that whenever we come to a consensus on that whoever makes the motion to approve just includes the 4 names in there. So, how long is Jennifer lived here?
We've lived in our house 8 years, and they moved in maybe a year after us. So
Yeah.
I don't remember if they were in Colleyville before that
Yeah.
or just in the area, but
Yeah.
at least 7 years.
So how about Matthew Little?
Matthew's lived here about 15 years.
15, okay,
Yeah, and
long
experience
time.
long.
Well, I mean, these are great choices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
okay.
written.
I mean, Lynn and
Larry.
Ed.
Okay.
um,
Are we willing to
This
go
is
with
Randy.
Matthew and Larry, Lauren? Is it Larry? Does he go by?
Larry. He goes by Larry.
Uh, Or not?
Do we have any women?
No.
Oh.
There you go.
Just,
I went off experience. I didn't.
no, those
so
are, but they're,
I didn't
like
go
I
off.
said, these are all great
Yeah.
people, but I think we might want at least one woman on at least one. Sorry.
we add another position to it?
We could, but
The-
we have qualified people. I mean, we have that ratio for a reason. I understand.
on all fronts, yes.
Okay, so,
If you want to drop Matthew, I mean, that's fine. I don't, and I'm not dishing on what you're saying. I don't believe that it matters on, to me, it doesn't, on gender. I think it matters on experience, and she's probably got a lot of experience as well. So I just hate that I would be dropping somebody just because of their gender, but if that's what the board wants, that's what I,
Well, Bobby, I would say I totally agree, and I don't think anybody should ever be chosen only because of their gender. We're talking about great candidates here.
yeah.
Sure.
So we're,
Well,
and so I agree. I'm not saying,
yeah, I know it was brought up, so I just want to
Yeah.
make sure I clarify that.
I think,
would-
I mean, I think it,
I prefer Matthew Little and Larry Williamson, myself.
And I know Larry's been in the area since,
You went to high school
high
with him.
school
I don't
time,
mind
so.
dropping Matt. I don't mind.
But I do think she has a good point as far as, a lot of the moms walking around and things like that. And so,
That's-
will we have somewhere to point, for if people have ideas and suggestions, to point them to come to these meetings, or how's?
Oh, yeah, these are
Yeah.
public,
Anybody can
there will
come.
be
Okay.
public meetings that this group has. So George, you went with Matthew and
Matthew
Larry.
and Larry.
I'm going to pull Matt's Little's name off.
You pull it off?
Okay,
Okay, then,
Okay. Okay,
then I'm fine with Jennifer.
okay.
should we ever name an alternate? Like if somebody decides they're not available? I don't know if that's something we traditionally do. Maybe we can name,
Yeah,
I think that might actually be a good idea based on that this is a pretty short time frame.
To get things done?
If
Mhm.
somebody can't make the meetings, we need to still have the representation, so we
You
might.
could have a
need
couple of
how do
alternates.
you,
I mean,
so let me ask, I mean, I understand the recommendation. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily want to do that. Here's why I say this.
Very short.
Here's what could happen in this group. It's short, it's quick, they got to do it and get the job done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
In the end, they may very well be having to vote on
Mm.
proposals. And then you got,
a potential newcomer.
Someone that's only been
or-
there.
yes, or laying out, or, I don't know,
No, I trust
Makes
your
sense.
experience in
Yeah.
that. I just
yeah,
didn't know if that was something we ever did.
yeah. Okay, so here's what I've heard. Dave, Don, Jennifer, and Larry.
yeah.
And I understand you really want Matthew, but you said I'm gonna let you go with.
Point taken. Let's just, so we're good. It's not a bad deal. It's not a bad
Okay.
rap. I just liked it because I know that construction side of the
Yeah.
fence, and I saw
Yeah.
all that experience in there.
Yeah, yeah,
And I know that's exactly what we're going to be doing is construction, so,
Yeah.
but it does have a chance for, I say not a chance, it does bring a different perspective, so.
okay. Okay, then, would somebody like to make a
I'll make a
motion?
motion. Move to approve Resolution R-19-4408. Let's see. That the following are hereby appointed to the Colleyville Pedestrian Transportation Ad Hoc Committee: Rich Henler, Eric Presson, Cliff LeBlanc, David Duziak, Don Hitchcock, Jennifer Johnson, and Lawrence Williamson Jr.
Yep. Okay,
Does that work?
do I have a second?
A second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Rigney to approve the resolution, including Dave Dujak, Don Hathcock, Jennifer Johnson, and Lawrence Williamson as the at-large. The other three are already read in. And a second by Councilmember Dodson, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good, appreciate it. I know that's a tough,
Yeah,
for those that are watching this is a tough call, because we have great people, good experience. We wouldn't make a mistake either way we went.
And
but,
can we just say thank you to everybody for their
Oh,
applications?
absolutely,
Because
yes.
it's
Yeah.
so
Mayor,
helpful when we have great, wonderful people that.
I just want to also to point out that for a commission where we had four open spaces,
Yeah.
we had 15 applications.
Yes, we had
So
lots of, yeah.
The amazing amount of people that want to
Yeah.
participate is just
We're
unlike
And-
any other city.
very,
And
very blessed.
back to the point that was made, I really encourage as meetings get set up, everybody's welcome to come to those meetings. They're public meetings. So, okay, very good. Thank you.
Mayor?
I didn't open a public, did I do a public hearing?
No,
No,
I'm gonna hold the motion. I'm gonna open a public hearing. Public hearing is open. I have no cards. No one wish to speak. Public hearing is closed. Okay, we're ready to vote. You open the vote, please. Okay, that motion is approved, therefore the resolution is approved. We have a ad hoc committee, so we will let them know they're on it and get on with getting meetings set up. Okay. I'm lost my, there it is. We're ready to go to agenda item 8, citizen comments. I have 2 cards, Kathleen Hennessy. Or who wants to go first?
Oh, they're fighting for it.
They're fighting for it. Nah, they never fight.
no.
Now we get to see how high-tech works. Let's see. Well, what I'm bringing, first Kathleen Hennessy, 5013 Stonebridge Drive in Colleyville. Just to bring your attention, something that's very upsetting to a lot of us. And I don't know what this gentleman did to get, where's your tech guy?
You want the screen on the side, is that what
Screen,
I think she has something plugged in, possibly.
let's see.
You need a PC?
She was helping with the cord.
This is supposed to come up, I guess it's not going to come up. Can you bring it up? Okay.
USB?
Okay. I just wanted to raise one item today. You can't hear me?
No, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I just wanted to raise one item today with you. If you look on Glade Road, where Target is, just before you get to Highway 121, okay? On the right-hand side is an area, it's a field full of trees. It's just behind Target, if you know, just west of Target, if you know where that is.
Yes.
Heritage and
Corner of Heritage and Glade, southwest corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you've driven by there the last couple of days,
Yes.
but every blessed tree is gone, except 2 on the southeast side and 2 trees on the southwest side. That's it. And there were probably about 200 trees on that property. And that I cannot believe that we could have a commercial development, office development, or whatever is going to be there. I can't believe that they could not manage to have a few more trees. I just got back from California, where I visited my alma mater, and 70 years ago, they had a brand-new development, office and shop development, right across from the campus, the Stanford campus. And what is really important is that they had trees. They saved the trees. Some of them were sequoias. But when I went back just a couple of months ago. Guess what? All those trees were still there. And people were coming from, and I went around and asked them, where did you come from? And some people came from 10 miles away just to have their lunch there. And then they would go shopping in this plaza, or they would have had a meeting and then they would stop and just enjoy that. You can't do that with what we've got now. Evidently, he can't do anything. Well, I urge you to, he's unplugged it, so he can't make it work. I urge you to go and have a look. And piled all the way along the east side of that entire property are pieces of trunks of these beautiful trees, and some of the trunks are this big. Why couldn't you save just a few of those magnificent creatures? Surely the city of Colleyville can do better than that, okay? I can email some of you if you're interested, the photographs I took. You can go and look yourselves. But I would ask you to get back to me and explain to the neighbors who came to me and said, what have they done? For some, it's genuine consternation that the city would have allowed that complete desolation of that, what was a lovely treed lot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Hadley?
Kathy Hadley, 204 Timberline Drive North, to represent myself. I'm solidifying back there. It's like, standing up. Okay. I would love, if y'all have an opportunity to drive by, go up Glade, turn right, after you go through the roundabout, go south on Jackson, and that first little neighborhood on the left, the house is on Meadowview. He has a beautiful, just flowers around on that side, and he changes it out regularly, and I just love driving by and looking at the flowers. Every time I drive by, I'd go see my mom. I have to go buy it. Well, he was out working yesterday, and I stopped and I got his name, and I said, I'm going to tell the city about you and your yard. It's gorgeous. I said, we need to get you on staff. He does an outstanding job. I think he's probably a doctor or something like that. I said, you probably do this for stress relief, but it's gorgeous. And if anything, maybe he could give people tips on what he does. It's magnificent, and he has wonderful ideas for the roundabouts, and I have ideas for the medians, but I have his name. I don't know if I should say it now, but anyway, if y'all want to do a drive-by right now, he has like some, looks like fall flowers that have just started blooming, Meadowview and Jackson. Okay, and his name is Mr. Anderson. I'm going to tell you anyway, and he's the homeowner. It's just gorgeous. In fact, Garden Club has given him the, not yard of the month, yard of the season. It's awesome. He changes it out for every season. It's just beautiful. I want to say too that the staff here is I've got very receptive, welcoming, knowledgeable, efficient, and I'm always up here giving suggestions, and they are welcomed. You know, I'm sure they've never ever rolled their eyes, but my comments are welcomed, and I really, really appreciate that as a long-term resident. Y'all are wonderful, and people behind the scenes are wonderful, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Today I went to help my sister move from Plano, and this is another area. I'm sorry I'm doing this with my glasses. Can't read anymore. Going 121, I took Spring Creek exit to the south, and this is a wonderful thing for y'all to go see. You have 2 lanes going this way, 2 or 3, maybe 3 lanes going south, a median, a big median, and then 3 lanes going back the other way. So I'm driving, going, oh, I love this. Big, tall trees in each of the medians with like, it looked like golf course grass. Nothing fancy, just the big trees, and they cast a beautiful shade. It's just so tranquil and just relaxing and just wonderful. So that way too, it breaks up the monotony of a 6-lane road, and the birds have some place to go, and critters and whatever. So if y'all would please take a drive by 121, then Spring Creek exit, and go south. And I would highly recommend y'all do something like that for 26. I know not a bunch of rocks, but this is Colleyville, Tree City, USA. Maybe we could emphasize that point with that in our medians. And okay, I have street maintenance on Bransford about ready to go crazy. What was wrong with Bransford that they had to tear it up and redo it again? This is like time number 3 in the years I've been over there on Timberline North. 3rd time they've done Bransford. What was wrong with it? There were no choke holes. I'm almost done. May I please finish?
Yeah.
Okay. The code enforcement gentleman, Kai Roby, he's awesome. He's a fine individual who reflects the true, long-standing, caring, friendly, understanding atmosphere of the old Colleyville. He is a code enforcement guy. But he's very kind and understanding, and you can talk to him. And he deserves a great pat on the back. I really, really think this gentleman went above and beyond with an incident of somebody getting they did get a citation but got a warning. And then I brought this up to y'all before. I don't understand fire chiefs. They work here for a while and then they go retire on Colleyville's penny, and they're only here for a few years and they're gone. And I'd asked y'all about, well, what is the retirement plan that y'all have that is so wonderful? We can't keep our firemen. They work for a few years and they retire. Something's up. You guys need to hold their feet to the fire and say you're gonna work here for 20 years. I'm not just 3, 4, 5 years. I'm paying their retirement, and I don't appreciate it. The ducks over there at the Colleyville Center, they need vegetation. I know I've spoken with some of y'all about this before. They go across the street to Market Street and they're being hit. Y'all had to put a big sign, slow down. And people are slowing down. But the reason they're crossing the street is to get to the vegetation. Put some vegetation on their side of the street by the pond. Let's keep them safe. And I know it's there by the community center and people do weddings and stuff. Put it further away or something, but keep them off the road. We are the ones with the bigger brains. Let's help them out by providing some safety on that side of the pond, please. Y'all do a really, really wonderful job. It's late. Thank you for y'all working these long, hard hours and taking care of this beautiful city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's all the cards. So Dr. Hennessy, I did drive by the other day and noticed it was kind of a striking visual image to see that. I think all the codes. You tell me if I'm different.
Yeah,
Or
I'll pull
follow.
the mitigation plan, and I'll answer you in an email, and I'll copy everybody on it so that everybody gets the answer.
Yeah.
I'll pull out the mitigation plan tomorrow. There had to be one filed with that project.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear me.
Tree, he says he'll pull the tree mitigation plan for that development. It is a commercial development, because all that stuff had to be considered. You ask why, and he's gonna try to answer that for you.
I just sent it to you, Kathleen.
Yeah.
Adrian sent it to me earlier. I saw the post on that, and I just sent it to you a few minutes ago, so you have it in your email. Sorry, Wanda.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and
Yeah.
give her what you think, but,
Yeah, I'll look at it as well,
Yeah.
but,
okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
If I remember that project, I know we're trying to wrap it up.
Yeah.
If I remember that project also, they were trying to take those other trees down. We threw a huge fit and made them go around those trees, especially that one special tree that's on the, I guess that would be the
By the corner.
east side, yeah, northeast corner right there. We made them move the buildings around, even though they had the right to pull it down, and those other two big trees. So I remember that part, but I don't remember the other part of the plan, but we'll look at it, absolutely.
Okay, very good. That was agenda item 8. Agenda item 9 is reports. Any questions about any P and Z minutes or anything?
No.
We do not need item 10, and 11 is adjournment, so I'm going to adjourn if there's no objection.
No objection.
See none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah, Bobby, there was one big tree on the corner we were trying to save.
Yeah, that was
Then there's one.
one that Miss Copeland,
Yeah, there was one though that was
that was
really,
talked about quite a bit.
made. I'll check on that, do like a little summary on that.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the name of that tree was.
Just had to drop it.